session, what more can I tell you?
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Sasha and I normally do videos with my daughter Arella, who is almost 2 years old now. But in today's video, actually she is in this video, she's just pretty occupied. But in today's video, I will be rating people based off their zodiac signs, and this is from a Capricorn's perspective because I am a Capricorn. This is like only because I'm really into astrology, and I think like people are different based on their zodiac signs, and I actually believe in like getting along with certain signs and that their traits are like how they describe it on the internet based off their birthdays and stuff. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing my ratings on these different zodiac signs and people that I've dealt with personally, then continue watching. I want to start with the first month of the year, so starting with Capricorns itself. So I don't want to be biased, but like I personally dealt with a Capricorn for a very, very long time. And I just find that they're very serious, and we do like to make jokes that are sarcastic. So I like that. And I just think that they're really goal oriented, but like dealing with someone who's so similar to myself, I just think like we can be a little bit reserved and held back. Sometimes you need that person to kind of like break that ice barrier, and dealing with another Capricorn, you're not going to get them to do that. So sometimes it can just be silent. If you're in an argument, it can just kind of keep going. I just think they're, yeah, kind of not the person that you're looking for to like break that barrier. So dealing with someone else who's a little more outgoing and like hands-on, like you can get that from them rather than dealing with a Capricorn and getting that little cold reserve side. So that's one. And then also like I find that Capricorns, they tend to take themselves away from like situations if they don't want to deal with it. So they can very easily distance themselves. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, or myself dealing with another Capricorn, that can just kind of be a problem because neither one of you want to reach out, and then it just becomes this long distance thing. And yeah, that's my only thing. And I like with Capricorns, they're very blunt and honest. Sometimes people can take that as being rude, but I just think that they're very straightforward. They're not going to sugarcoat things and try to like protect your feelings. They will tell you how it is. Sorry if you can hear the bed squeaking. Like Arella did end up breaking the headboard because she's always like shaking it back and forth. But yeah, Capricorns, they're very straightforward, and I like that if you want a true honest opinion, ask a Capricorn. They will not lie to you. And we also do not like lying, so I think that you can always get straight, real, honest opinions. And just in a relationship, in a friendship, you always get that real, raw, honest side of them. So I think that is a pro and a really good thing about Capricorns. On to the next sign. This is Pisces. So this is the February month, and my experiences dealing with Pisces is that they're very emotional and feeling based. They're a little bit sensitive. So a Capricorn dealing with a Pisces, we could be a little bit too straightforward and blunt for them, and sometimes that might hurt their feelings. And I just, yeah, that's one thing about them. Another thing is that they are very romantic and sweet. Pisces have this very loving, compassionate side, so you always get that. I always get that really sweet, kind, gentle person from a Pisces, but they do just get a little bit too like emotionally involved sometimes, and sometimes you can just be dealing with more drama with a Pisces just because of their feelings. Sometimes dealing with a Pisces, you can just get like more emotions than if you were dealing with someone else of a different sign, so they can just tend to do things emotionally based. But I find that they're very outgoing and friendly, and you can always just get a really loving, sweet, kind, gentle friend from a Pisces. They're also really similar to us because Capricorns have that soft, sensitive side that they try to hide, and dealing with a Pisces, you can be open and honest with them, and they're very understanding. And I just find like Pisces, they're good to talk to as like therapists because they always just understand and try to get where you're coming from, and they usually don't judge, but when they get mad, they can get really mad. And yeah, I just think Pisces, I like them, I get along with them, and yeah, the only thing is their emotions can just kind of be a lot for a Capricorn. And yeah, sis, don't get offended watching this. We're best friends. We get along so well. And she just brings out that gentle, loving, nurturing side for me that you kind of tend to hide with others. And like Capricorns, we're shy before we get to know people. So yeah, Pisces, they really bring that outgoing, fun side out of you. Another thing about Pisces is they're usually very artsy and crafty. They can be good at makeup or drawing, arts and crafts. They're always really hands-on and good with like art stuff. And I just think like every Pisces I've met so far is either really good at makeup or drawing or just doing things with like arts and crafts stuff. So yeah, Pisces, like you guys are really artistic, and I just so far have met like very, very crafty, artistic Pisces. And yeah, that's it for Pisces. On to Aquarius. This is the ending of February-ish, or the beginning, or actually no, this is, I should have done Aquarius before Pisces, but whatever. Aquarius, this is the ending of January and beginning of February. I just find that they're very, very outgoing and fun people. They're usually very like honest and straightforward as well, so we like that. But Capricorns, like we can kind of butt heads with them because they always think they're right and we always think we're right, and yeah, like that's where we can just kind of like clash a little bit. But I just find like I've gotten along with a lot of Aquariuses that I have met, and they're similar to us but not really, so like that's where we kind of get along because the differences like balance each other out. And so like where we're kind of serious, they're fun and outgoing, and they have that goofy funny side, and they are like not really serious all the time. Like they can joke around, but like when you meet that good friend and someone to be there, they're always really understanding. They try to like understand where you're coming from, and usually like based off of what I've dealt with, like they're good at helping you feel better because they kind of joke around and make little comments that like lighten up the mood. And yeah, I really like that about Aquarius. I don't know too much about them, so I don't want to say like a lot, but based off of my experiences with them, yeah, that's how I feel about Aquariuses. On to the next one. This is what comes after Pisces. April. So Aries, so far all the Aries I've met, like I don't really know a lot of Aries, but I don't think I get along with them too well just because they're very like fiery, angry kind of people, and we just have like short, you know, how's the weather going kind of conversations. Like they're not really deep or anything like that, and if they are, I just find like we kind of get into like arguments because Aries, they're always right, and then Capricorn, they're always right, and then we have that like calm side where we kind of want peace and like distance and stuff, and then Aries, like they're really like hands-on and like what's the problem, and like let's go, let's fight. And yeah, I just don't know too much about Aries, but they're not too compatible with Capricorns, kind of clash. But I think Aries, they're really outgoing and fun people, and they're just really more extrovert lifestyle compared to Capricorns, and I just don't have too much experience with Aries to say much about them. But sorry Aries people, if you were looking for like a whole long thing about you guys, I just, yeah, don't have much to say. What comes next after Aries? So the next one is Tauruses, and based off of what I've learned with my daughter, because she is a Taurus, and I've just had to do my research on them and see what they were like. I know that they are very clingy and attention-based people, so they do like to have all eyes on them and have things be about them. If people are having a conversation, they will try to be the center of that conversation and just try to take over. Good things about them though is that they are very loving and that they will always be there. They're very, very good friends. They can be stubborn though, so like if you do get into any like issues with a Taurus, like you can just kind of butt heads, but we do have very, very similar goals, and we just try to strive to get things done in life and just get really far in life. So romantically they are good partners, but they're just based off my experiences with them, like the stubborn side and the Capricorn stubbornness and just always being right. And the Capricorn is a goat with the horns and then the bull with the horns, so they just kind of clash horns sometimes. And yeah, hi. They do really, really like nature and like clean environments, and that's really good because like they just will make you experience like the small beauty in life and always have things like up to date and clean and just a nice, really good environment to be in. So that's something good about them. And they do like beautiful things. Sometimes like that's why I like to surprise her with things, because she does like new, fresh, exciting, and I'm just happy to have learned so much about Tauruses, because it's just good to know what you're dealing with. And like I have dealt with Tauruses, but like I just didn't know too much about them, and I feel like my lack of knowledge has caused like a lot of clashing because of like not knowing small things about them. And if you had just done your research, thank you baby, earlier on, then you just kind of know like they're very down to earth, and like small things about them, like they do appreciate the little things in life, and they just really know how to value money, and they're just really good similar qualities to a Capricorn. The only thing is like they can just be really like hands-on and like pressuring in that way, and Capricorns being laid back, like that can just kind of be overbearing, and that's the only issue. Other than that, they just are a good match. So I'm happy that I have to deal with this Taurus and that I'm a Capricorn, so that I know that, don't do that mama. I'm happy dealing with a Taurus so that I know that we have similar goals and values, and it'll be easy just going through life with the same values and morals. And yeah, like bringing out, what was I saying about Tauruses? You just know that you have similar goals and values, and it'll be easy to go through life dealing with a Taurus. And I'm happy that they are just like easy to deal with by giving them that love and attention and actually being present in the moment. That's what they want from you, and it's good to like have someone bring that quality out of you. She definitely did. So dealing with the Taurus, that was good. The next sign is Gemini, I think. Geminis, I find that they can be either very fun and outgoing, or they can be very quiet and shy. So like sometimes we'll either like really get along and like talk a lot, and like other times it's just like we'll go our separate ways and, you know, like not really interact for a bit. We both enjoy being alone and having that alone time, so we're not like always needing to like talk and communicate to keep that close relationship. So that's what I like about Geminis. And Capricorns, the only thing is like sometimes we just kind of like have different views on things, and that's good for like learning about different things and having controversial conversations. Or other times it can just kind of like cause you to like butt heads and want to go your Arella is drawing with pencil crayons right now, so it can cause you to want to go your separate ways and just not really interact with them. So it can go one of two ways. Thankfully, like the Geminis, like my friend is also a Gemini, and her and I, we get along really well. We're able to joke around and like have conversations where we're both bringing our different opinions in and learning things from each other. And then we're okay going our separate ways, doing things alone, and then talking again like, hey, how's it been? Like nothing has changed. So that's something I enjoy about them. And they're just like really good, loyal friends. Other than that, like that's really all I would have to say about Geminis. Like I've seen the two-faced thing with them, but like in my experience with them, like I haven't dealt with that. So like yeah, I just think that means they can either be really outgoing and fun, or just like distant and not want to be your friend. So it can just like be that way. I don't want to say too much again, just like with the Aries, like because I don't know too much, and I just had more experiences with like certain zodiac signs compared to others. But yeah, that was just my little bit on Geminis. And moving on to the next one, I think it is Cancers. So I also again don't have too much experiences with Cancers. I just know that they're similar to Pisces in a way that they're very like emotional and loving, and they can be very compassionate, very good understanding friends, and like that's a good thing. And other than that, like I don't know again, because I just don't really have too much experiences with Cancer. So again, if you guys came here looking for like a big bit about the Cancers and stuff, like yeah, I can't really say too much. I think like they're the crabs, so like they do get mad and snappy. Like if you get on their bad side, like don't get on their bad side. But other than that, like I just don't want to say too much about them, because again, like I don't know. The next sign will be Leo. Okay, Leos, like, again, like, we just really get along sometimes, or we either don't. We can get into really, really, really bad arguments just because we're both leader-based, and, like, we just both want to be right all the time, and, like, my way, not your way, like, you're not the boss, I am, and that's where we can just kind of, like, get in each other's ways. Other times we get along because we're just really, like, similar in a way, like, we like to enjoy and have fun and let back and, like, just enjoy small things in life. So that's where we get to connect and, like, have those conversations. But in a way, like, Capricorns, they're more traditional, and then, like, Leos, they're more, like, spontaneous and outgoing and, like, more, like, just out there. So, like, they can kind of be too much for us sometimes. And then, like, the materialistic things, they like shiny, flashy new things, and we're just, like, really reserved and conservative with our money. So we can just find that, like, Umbrella brought this lipstick here. You can just find that, like, too much. But other than that, like, we do get along okay-ish. Not really, actually. Like, I just find there's more arguments than good times. And with, like, Leos in relationships, there's definitely a lot of arguments because they just don't understand or really take the time to, like, learn about Capricorns and, like, what they're looking for. Leos are kind of like me, and we definitely don't. Yeah, so we definitely don't enjoy stuff like that. Like, we want more, like, you know, more. So that's where we just kind of, like, clash and get in each other's way. Like, we're all right, but then again, there's just that leadership, boss, authority thing that, like, we constantly have a struggle with. And I think, like, just better off as just being more civil than getting, like, too involved. And, like, Capricorns were very sarcastic, like I said, so Leos, like, they can kind of get offended and, like, hurt with things that you say. Like, they don't really understand that you're joking and take things too seriously and then turn it into, like, a big argument, and you really just, like, meant to be making a little lighthearted joke. So that's where you can just kind of get into, like, another argument as well, because it's like, can you just relax a little bit? And they're like, no, like, let's argue. And it's just too much sometimes because you really just have nothing to say at that point. So, like, that's my experiences with Leos. And yeah, moving on to the next sign, which would be Virgos. Again, like, I don't really have too much to say about Virgos because I don't know much about them. I know that they're good friends. I just think that they're very out there and, like, competitive. So sometimes, like, they can just see, like, you're doing well and want to, like, do that too. Or if you cut French bangs, then they cut French bangs too. And yeah, I just think that Virgos, they're very similar to us, but then they're, like, out there and, like, a little bit too out there, where, like, Capricorns find it, like, a little bit excessive, and they just kind of tend to, like, well, I personally would, like, chill back and not get too involved, because, like, at that point then you just kind of start to clash. You don't really want to do that with, like, a person that you're supposed to be friends with or anything. So I just think it's better on, like, a civil term, and, like, that competitiveness, like, because I think Capricorns are competitive and, like, we do really want to do well, and I just think dealing with that, like, you're just constantly gonna get into, like, problems, and it's better to avoid that rather than what happened? Oh no. Rather than get into a friendship where you're just constantly, like, looking at, whoa, what are you doing? Like, can you do that too? And I think that's just more of the Virgo doing what the Capricorn does, because I think, like, Virgos are more followish based, like going with trends and stuff rather than, like, doing things on their own. So that's where, like, you know, they are trying to do what the Capricorn does, because the Capricorn is very, like, goal oriented and up there and, you know, going places. And yeah, I don't mean to bash Virgos or anything, so yeah, don't come for me, Virgos. This is just based off of my one experience with a Virgo. And cheese, you're behind the camera though, baby, you're on the other side. And yeah, moving on to the next sign after that would be Libras. I think I do get along with Libras. They're just very, like, sometimes you could, and then sometimes you can't. They're either really friendly and outgoing, or other times they can just be really and just not, like, someone that you want to interact with. They are very good at listening and being there for you to, like, vent and stuff, but they're not one to take initiative and, like, start something on their own. They're more of, like, one to see what's going on and then do what others are doing and then go with the flow kind of people. And that's where, like, Capricorns are like, hey, what do you want to do today? And the Libra's like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And it's like, just make up your mind and make a choice. And like, that's where the Capricorn's kind of like, okay, I don't really want to hang out with you anymore because you can never make decisions and you always want me to decide. And based off my experience again, so like people who are of these signs, and if I say like cons towards your signs, like don't come for me, because again, I'm just going based off of my experiences and people who I have dealt with in the past who are of these signs. So yeah, after Libra comes, I think it's Scorpio. And again, I don't have too much experience with Scorpios, and I just think that they're similar to us because like they are very goal-oriented and stuff. They're very down to earth and funny, and they have like that sarcastic side to them as well. They're very friendly and smart, and like, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Scorpios. Like, I've had good experiences with them, and I just think that they're, yeah, nothing that I can say like negative about Scorpios. Like, I've had good experiences with the Scorpios I know, and I've had a friend through high school. She was a good friend and we got along really well. There is nothing negative to say that I know about Scorpios. They're very fun and outgoing people, and they bring out that side of you where you're just a little more outgoing. So yeah, my experiences with Scorpios have been good, and I just think that they're very similar to Capricorns. They're just a little bit more outgoing and social, you know. And yeah, like that's all that I know about Scorpios. And the next sign is Sagittarius. So I personally just don't like any of the Sagittariuses that I know. I just think that they're way too out there. They just like too much attention, and they really like to like compete with others and try to be better and so much, and they're just very like me again, like the other sign that I had talked about previously. And I just think that they are always kind of like going with the trend and just trying to say what everyone wants to hear. And I know that they're fun and outgoing people. I've heard that about them, but I just think that someone who is too much out there in a Capricorn's perspective, we just think it's too much, and it's kind of like, what are you doing? Just calm down a little bit. Like, you don't need to be all out there and like stepping on everybody's foot. Like, we would just all like to, you know, be here too. So I just think that they're a little bit too much. And again, like, that's just based off of my experience with them. What happened? And I just think that they're like always trying to be the center of attention. Like, if you were to hang out with a Sagittarius, probably wouldn't be able to have a conversation where you can talk about yourself. They're always going to be talking about themselves, and you'll never get to like say anything. So if like your friend's a Sagittarius, I can expect that your conversations will be like all about the Sagittarius, unless you are compatible with them. I personally am not. I just think that they're always like talking about themselves or how they want to be other people and be better than other people. And in a Capricorn's competitive way, where you're like, you know, we see you as like competition. We don't want to see someone who's out there and like too much. Like, we just don't want to deal with that like drama and too muchness. And they're always trying to get into everyone's business and be in the middle of everything. And I just don't have a good experience with Sagittariuses. And if we are friends and you're Sagittarius, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were Sagittarius. And yeah, that brings us to the end of today's video and how I feel as a Capricorn with all the different zodiac signs and people based off their zodiac signs. This is just my personal experiences dealing with people of these zodiac signs, and I was just thinking like this would be a really fun video to do because I'm really into astrology and learning about the different signs. And usually when I get to meet someone, like I ask, when's your birthday or what's your zodiac sign? So I'm really interested in stuff like that, and I really like learning about different zodiac signs. So if there is something about your sign that I didn't mention or kind of got wrong, let me know in the comments below. Definitely tell me about your sign and more about you so that I can have more knowledge on your zodiac sign, especially the ones that I didn't have much information on or I didn't say much about. Like, it'd be good to know about you guys and cool facts about your sun sign. So let me know in the comments below what zodiac sign you are and if you believe in this. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you haven't already, please check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.